Plain Talk AI, talking to folks about the future of artificial intelligence. I am here with
Albert Thompson.
Albert. Why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Absolutely. I'm also founder with my wife, brand marketing firm Trends in Identity, and I'm the head director of brand strategy. And I think, look, man, when I look at AI, there's a few simple premises I really keyed in on. The first one was with people saying that AI will be programmed with childlike curiosity.
Mm.
And you got to think about that.
Say that again.
1600 5,000, 10,000 IQ machine programmed with childlike curiosity. Now let's take a toddler. They got their hands in everything, curious about everything, but they rocking a 5 to 10,000 IQ. Now imagine the high rate of discovery, the synthesization of information, the breaking it down, and using it and putting it to work. That's the notion of a parent being outreacted and outclassed. And the one thing they say about AI is it has the ability to outreact you and outclass you. Now, I mean, just think about that. Think about in boxing, outreacting,
Right.
throwing a punch before you can move,
Yeah.
and then outclassing you. I did it in a way that looked like you should never have been in the ring with me in the first place.
Right.
When you derive that in a summation, that's extensive. That's staggering when you say it's going to outclass me and outclass me with childlike curiosity, where everything is interesting, everything is taken in, everything will be making meaning, everything will have a sticking point, everything will have an impact, everything will be built from. So then you have to say to yourself, okay, well, if that's the mechanism, how do I weaponize that? And then how do I deploy that? And I think that's what people don't understand about the power of these machines is the ability to essentially do that. From a humanity sake, that's just profound.
Yeah.
And I think that has the ability to disrupt so many facets of life. I don't think we can really calculate or even imagine what the impact of it could be and how sustainable that will be.
I mean, I am right there with you, and I'm somebody who actually tries to figure it out, and I know that with all of the things that I've read over the course of the last 10 years, and all of the things that I've watched, that I still can't fathom it. So the people who are not looking at it at all, they just do not have any way to calculate the sheer massive nature of the earthquake that is running in front of us. So what are people missing? Like why is it I'll go there. What are people missing about the power of AI, and why is it so imperative that people start right here, right now, paying closer attention?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that the first thing is human nature has always shown its capacity that when we automate stuff, we forget about it.
Mm.
We don't think about how we brush our teeth because it's almost an autonomous function we do almost subconsciously.
Right.
In the because the brain it gets tired fast. We are looking for rote work, things we can do without thinking. But when you look at the things we've automated historically, once we've done that, we don't even care. It's not in our main frontal consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to understand is once we start automating things in our daily lives, we won't care to the point that we can end up doing its bidding and not even know. Look, they already talk about the idea that our opinions are not our own. Our opinions are an amalgamation of societal forces that tell us how to behave, how to react, how to think, how to dress, how to walk, and then synthesize based on social acceptance and norms when we walk in a room.
And then tied to AI algorithms that feed us more and more and more of the things that we already think that we believe.
Correct. So we know that life is very much in this day and age an algorithm. I mean, we learned that just from social media where the machines can find the one thread, the one post, the one person to agree with us to give us validation
Right.
that what we think is true, and it's not. We just connected to that one other person out of the 8 billion people on the planet. But now we believe in it, and now we get super served it. And that essentially becomes our life algorithm. When you see the same thing when you turn on Netflix, when you turn on Hulu, this is what's trending
Right.
because it's looking at your profile of what it is you take in and consume and serving you more and more at a high rate of speed. And what people don't understand is they need to break their algorithm because the same algorithm sets in with search.
Yep.
It sets in with doom scrolling on social platforms. It can set in what comes over connected TV. It's the same algorithm that works with your 5 closest friends, your 5 closest business partners, and they say Your ability to make money is based on the 5 people closest to you. If they're poor, you'll be poor.
Right.
Your behaviors, your attitude, your beliefs are a representation of the 5 people closest to you because that's who you grew up with, and there's a commonality that you're constantly trying to synthesize as a collective as you get along.
Yeah.
And the problem that people need to understand is the human brain likes to do two things: do what it did yesterday and do what's most popular.
Right.
And that in itself becomes an algorithm.
Right.
And that's why we end up doing things so repetitively and can't break habits.
Right.
But you weaponize that with high powered machines that can almost act autonomously. We aren't even who we think we are,
Right.
but we believe that we're doing it out of independence. And we're actually doing it based on an algorithm super serving us, but doing it almost in what's the term? Ambient background. When they talk about ambient noise in New York, it's just in the background. You don't pay attention to the
Right.
sirens. The AI will be almost in the ambient background, shape shifting and moving how we think and activities we do, not even omnipresent. But at the end of the day, if you were to decouple it, you realize that what was driving it the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk about it from the perspective of like our human operating system,
Yeah.
and how within our human operating system we have all of these programs, many of which have all kind of bugs and are broken in ways that we absolutely positively need to fix. And these algorithms that are running, they know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: most people, psychologists will say, we can't explain uh, the idea of self-reflection, self-understanding. Like we can't put it out on a piece of paper. But I think the biggest thing that we have to understand is that if we are not in touch and in tune with ourselves and how we think, how will we be able to do it through the connective tissue of these high-powered machines?
Right.
I mean, it's checkmate essentially on humanity if you start to really look at it.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement. Enough that we're going to let these folks get started. Pleasure. We'll